I am a travel maker, Hojin. My name is Hojin. I'm 22 years old. So about 2 years ago, I came to Seronam. And then, so I stayed about 1 year and a half altogether. The reason why I came to Seronam, this place, because I had a serious addiction problem. Especially I was addicted with the computer games and pornography. And because of these addictions, I had a serious problem in my brain. I could not function as a person in a daily life as I was spending some time when I was a junior high. Somehow there was a misunderstanding because of my age. And then there was rumor in the school. Although I'm the same age with my classmates, but somehow just suddenly the rumor spread out that I was 1 year older than them. Since they know my age and they would just say, hello, older brother. So somehow I felt like, wow, it feels so good. They respect me more. But I was so fearful. What if they knew, find out my real age? So I had two different feelings. A little bit happy, but at the same time, I was filled with the fearful because of my age. And then they happened to find out my real age. And then they were really kind to me, but suddenly they completely changed it. And then they were so hostile. Before, they were very kind and then good to me. And then they were like, what? You are just the same age? How come you did that? Oh my, you know what? They really mocked at me and looked down on me. So I was very hurt by my classmates and by my friends. And then I thought, you know what? If other friends found out, then they would do the same thing. The fear just so overwhelmed. I was so afraid of where there were so many people, more and more, I lost my self-esteem. I became so small. I felt that. Of course, I liked playing games, computer games, but now, guess what? I really liked it. Because when I was playing it, somehow I felt that I was free from my fear in my reality. But my mom didn't like it at all. Who wants it? Who wants the son who is addicted to with like a computer games? So after my school, I usually go to PC room, which means game room. My mom would call me. Where are you? I know you are out of school, right? But are you playing games? Come right now. And then I said, Mom, I will just play one or two games, okay? And then my mom said, are you crazy? If you are not coming in 30 minutes, you will be dead. I wanted to play games, computer games. My friends, their parents wouldn't do that. I wanted to do it. I wanted to play with my friends, but how come? How come I'm the only one who has to live like this? And more bitterness. My mom would know every single thing that I would do daily life. And my mom just was there to nag me. And then I was so much stressful. I felt like he would just watch over me all the time. And I had no idea why I had to go to the church because it was so boring. It was like a sleeping pill to listen to the sermons. But not only on Saturday, Sabbath day, but even Friday, she would drag me. So as I was living for about 20 years, I told one day to Mom, I just don't want to go to church only this time. But she never actually granted my request. Whatever she felt that she thinks it was right, guess what? She forced me to do it. Even some people ask me, how come you came to Seoul now? You were so young. I really didn't want to come. I really didn't come to Seronam. But no matter what I said, I knew my mom would not grant my request. So I was like, half like a gave up. So I had been so forced by my mom, according to her wills and plans. So since I was young, because they loved me and they did everything for me. And then when I just came back home, I just took off all the dresses, all my clothes, including my underwear. My mom just took them all and put them in the laundry. Even guess what? Even I did not know how to cut my toenails or my fingernails. Everything, my mom and dad did it for me. I did not do anything using my willpower. So even I had no idea how to resist the temptation by my own. That's the life that I used to live. But I was not allowed to play games at home. So there was no Wi-Fi like after a certain time at night. And then I said, I would do like, Mom, you know what? Can I just play one more time? Can I play one more time? And then my mom believed that, I didn't have any Wi-Fi service, right? But guess what? I knew how to steal Wi-Fi from somewhere else. So I had so many ways to do it. Even I would play games until 3 a.m. many nights. Even I did not sleep. Sometimes I would just play games right before even going to the school. And then I watched, a lot of video clips which I was not supposed to watch. So I was becoming too addicted to pornography and like media. In the past, when I watched like one movie or drama, guess what? I was so thrilled and I felt somehow contented with them. But when I watched the second time, but the pleasure would not come the same scale that I used to had. So it just I had just a first pleasure. I was looking more and more and more. It was the games first, and then later, like a sports gambling, and then later pornography. I was looking for more thrilling stuff to just give me the worldly pleasures and lust. So I was satisfied myself by watching, by listening. So I experienced that. The Satan's way really satisfy my flesh lust. So some people just they had a normal life. But to me, I see the different. Completely just normal, but to my eyes, they would become very lustful. And then I became 20 years old and I did something very bad mistake. And my mom wept and wept. Sounded like she wept like the world just ended. When I just saw my mom crying, but I didn't feel anything at the time. I knew in my mind. I knew in my mind that you know what? Yes, she must be so sad, but I didn't sense any sadness and no feelings at all. So my mom told me, "Do you really believe that you made a really big mistake? But you don't look like you realize it." So I just told her honestly, I don't think it was that bad. I knew somehow in my mind, but I told her, but I don't feel anything right now. Because at that time, my senses were completely paralyzed and no moral. Even I know in my mind if I kill somebody, then that's completely wrong. But my mind doesn't think that. I just lost the senses. But by God's grace, I was brought here. I came here with my mom. And we talked with so I had a counseling time with the elder Kim. And at that time, he told me there are two channels, Satan's channel and God's channel. The way you became like this because you have been choosing the Satan's channel all the time. You had been looking at Satan's all the time. But if you turn to God's channel, then you will live. So during my conversation with him, so there are some things that I felt that there are some, wrong or mistakes. I felt like at that time there's something blinding my eyes. Although I'm living physically on this earth, but I felt like it is not reality. Right now I'm talking to you, right? And then I notice your faces. But in the past, when I went back home, I could not remember any people's faces. My memory ability was that bad. As I was reading a book, even I did not remember even one page. So what Elder Kim talked to me was, it looked like you're at the border of getting Alzheimer. So I had so many problems at a young age. So as I was spending some time, like 2 months, something came back. As you have experienced, insomnia patients could sleep, or some people just, no more pain for them. So there was something which constantly bothered me, constantly tempted me. Those stuff, God amazingly helped me not to have those stuff for the 2 months. And He restored all my senses. And I began to feel the real life. And I could feel sadness and something that I did not remember, could not remember before. But all these things came back. So spending 2 months here, one of the biggest problems that I had was addiction to pornography and wanting to play computer games. These lost, these worldly pleasures, they look like they're just right before my eyes. The images just right before me. But I began to call upon God. There are images, and then through the images, the pleasure, the fleshy lust came to me as it real. As I just watched it, I began to call upon God. And then I also focus on memorizing the Bible verses, and I also focus on hymns, the words in hymns. As I was focusing on these things, the thoughts and the images which used to come, they began to disappear. Like in the past, for 1 hour, I could not cut them up. But as I trained myself to call upon God, sometimes 1 hour became 30 minutes, and 30 minutes became 15 minutes, and the 15 minutes became 5 minutes. So these images and thoughts would go away within 5 minutes. And also I began to experience that the images that I did not want to have for watching pornography and all these things began to disappear. I had so many unnecessary thoughts. And I also was very weak in feelings and emotions. I would just be ready to react to my own feelings and emotions that Satan put them into me. Sometimes, the same temptations would come back to me again and again, not only just one day, but several weeks or several months. It happened several times while I was here. As I fought more and more, whenever the temptation would come, it is not easy at all. But the old temptations, and then I thought, wow, you know what? Before I was much weaker, and then I was dragged by Satan's temptations, but now I feel that I am getting stronger. slowly, I really experienced that this is from God. I really don't want to go back to my old life. I had this desire. Elder Kim said, if you are born again, then you will not go back to your old life. Because I really didn't want to live the old life, the way that I used to live. And I set the goal. You know what? I really want to be born again, calling upon Jesus. Of course, I cannot know again. Oh, at that time, yes, I knew I was not born again, but I had a definite purpose, and that really helped me. I'm not saying I'm perfect. No, I'm not Jesus, Oh, yes, I do have, trials and temptations. But like a trials that I used to have, like a temptation that I could not resist back then. But now, compared to those experiences, now I am much, much stronger than before, which I'm very thankful. And also those stuff temptation lost, which used to be very big temptations, but they are not that big anymore to me. I used to hate my mom in the past, as I told you before. She really forced me. She did not give me any freedom because she just did not let me do what I wanted to do. So I had so much bitterness toward her. All the things that she did, they were one by one accumulated in my mind. But somehow, guess what? All the mistakes or forceful things that what my mom did, one by one, they're kind of disappear. Even I try to remember them, but I don't remember them a lot. As I was staying with my mom, in this place, mother's behaviors, what mom did to me, she loved me, but I had been deceived by Satan to misunderstand my mom. As I went to God, and then my hatred toward mom disappeared. But God filled me with the love. While she was here with me, sometimes two times she had to go out because of her work. And then first, like I was waiting and waiting. Oh, when will my mom go out so that I will be free? But more and more, I like, okay, mom needs to go maybe next week. But for like several months later, I had a desire that I wish mom will not go out, for her work. I really wanted her to be with me all the time. All the hatred, all the resentment and bitterness toward my mom, had disappeared completely. And now God has given me the love to love my mom. As I have been experiencing this, as I told you, all my kind of addiction and problem, God really, healed me from these addictions completely. So I am freed from them. And then I knew, and then these days I experienced that He gives me His wisdom. My ability to concentrate, focus has been so improved. My memory ability also has been so improved. The ability to discern also has been developed so much. As I have been experiencing these things, as I meet, people here, as I share my experiences, how I became free from my addictions. When I see these people, become happy, it makes me happy. I know sometimes I also, I will be deceived by feelings and emotions sometimes, but when I help other people, and then when my experience helps other people, that is the best joy that I have now. So as I'm having this relationship with God, helping other people, I decided to go to theology school, and then this early year I became a theology student. But just this month and next month, is a summer vacation. So I'm here working as a volunteer. I'm very thankful to God who saved me.